Hey guys! Okay, let me just position my mic really quickly because girl, this is a one-woman team. I ain't got no team. So for today's video, I'm gonna be giving you guys a nail tutorial that you probably never asked for. I'm actually gonna be doing something super different. Like, this is totally out of my curriculum, girl. I'm very much the basic girl that's like, oh, soap nails, Hailey Bieber, French tips. But for this video, I'm gonna be doing some cute nail art. As you guys all know, it's Cancer season already, and it inspired me to do these seashell, very sea gold nails. And I wanted to go a little longer for this set as well. But yeah, before we start the video, I'm actually super curious what shape you guys usually rock on your fingers. Are you like an almond baddie, or are you a square, a coffin, a round? I actually love round. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe to help a baddie out, and let's move to the video. Hey guys! Okay, you can't really see me, but I'm like here. I have no makeup on, so I don't really want to show myself, whatever. I was scrolling through Pinterest and I saw these nails and I was like, oh, that is so pretty. And I'm gonna do them today. So yeah. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna push our cuticles like your ex-boyfriend's receding hairline. And honestly, you guys, this is not rocket science. You don't really have to be too technical about it. Just push your cuticles, for crying out loud. I'm pretty sure the cuticle pusher that I'm using right here is by the brand called Mr. Green, but I will find something on Amazon that you guys can use. I mean, you do have to be careful as well to not push it like really far up. Basically, how you know if it's too far up is it hurts. And I am going to be doing a Russian nail prep. I'm going to be using this type of nail bit right here. And if you guys are wondering, this is the nail drill or e-file that I'm using. This is by Marathon by Seyang. I saw a Russian girl use this and she was like, this is the best nail drill in Russia. So I was like, take my money, I guess. What I really like about this e-file though is that it doesn't vibrate as much. For my Russian nail prep, do make sure that you don't angle your bit that way because that would just create rings of fire, which I do have from a long time ago. Make sure that you lay it flat, just like this. And if you guys are wondering, I am using around 10 to 15 RPM. I wouldn't suggest any higher than that. I am using a faster speed though because I'm comfortable with what I'm doing already. I've been doing this for a long time already, so. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, this is actually an example of a ring of fire that I've fully grown out. And you have to avoid overfiling because this would really happen, you guys. Switching the direction to reverse, and I'm gonna do the other side now. If you're just new to doing a Russian manicure, I would suggest using a flame bit with a red band, which has less grit. And when you're doing it, I would actually suggest that you use less pressure to not accidentally dig in your nails. So after going all over with the flame bit, I am gonna be snipping my dead cuticles. And just a disclaimer, guys, you don't actually have to do this. Your Gel X nails would last just as long as if you remove your dead cuticles, or if you don't. I just really like the look of clean cuticles by removing the dead skin. But if you guys actually want to do this, the cuticle nippers that I'm using is actually called cuticle scissors, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna try to find a link on Amazon so you guys can find similar ones. But basically the technique that I'm using here is that I kind of gauge if what I'm cutting hurts by not cutting it all the way through. Oh, and by the way, this is not how fast I cut my cuticles. This is in fast forward, so it's not a race, girl. Chill. Okay, so my camera died and I might have accidentally cut myself. Yay! So fun! What we're gonna do next is we're gonna be sizing our tips. I'm gonna be using this Couture soft gel tips. This is local. I like supporting local now because I feel so quirky when I do that, you know? But yeah, these are long stiletto. And while sizing your nails, you do have to make sure that it fits sidewall to sidewall. I don't really care if my Gel X tips actually reaches my cuticles because I don't apply my Gel X tips near my cuticles anyway. I leave like a millimeter of space. What I do want is for the sides to actually fit. So if you actually have a tip that's smaller than your nail bed, make sure that you go for the bigger one and just file it. Okay, so after selecting all our tips, I'm just gonna be grabbing this mandrel bit and I'm gonna start etching them. Based on my experience, etching your tips really does make a difference, guys. I tried not etching my tips on my mom's nail and it fully lifted. And if you guys are wondering, I'm just using a lower RPM so I don't destroy the tip. Because if you go too fast, you might dig in. And that would then deform the tip, which we don't want. After etching the tips, I'm going to be etching my own nails. And I'm just going to be using this buffing block. You can use the mandrel bit, but since my nails are like super thin from being overfiled already, I'm just going to use this just to be safer. Okay, so for dehydrator and primer, I'm going to be using the Marovan Nail Prep Primer and Dehydrator. Starting with the dehydrator, I just go crazy with this. I don't really care. Some people say that you can actually just use alcohol or acetone and that would actually dehydrate the nail. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now what I do carefully though is the primer. Make sure that you don't get this on your skin and make sure that you actually don't put a lot of this, just enough to cover your nail bed, because if you do, it would actually make it pop for whatever reason. So yeah, chill with the primer, babes. It's not going anywhere. For the base coat, I'm going to be using this Gelish Foundation Flex. This has been my ultimate secret. You guys probably know this already, but this literally makes my Gel X last for more than 4 weeks. Not even kidding. But please be extra careful when applying this. Don't get this on your skin because it would cause allergies. You can actually use any other rubber base coat for this one. I just really like the brush of the rubber base coat from Gelish, but make sure that the rubber base is actually flexible so that when you bend your nails, it won't actually pop. It would just flex. If gel does flood your cuticle, get a liner brush or a flat brush like this and dip it into some acetone and remove it immediately. Because girl, not on my watch. A lot, and when I say a lot of gel allergies actually come from you not removing uncured gel on your nails, so make sure that you clear them before you actually cure them inside the UV lamp. Love you. Okay, so we're just gonna cure everything for 60 seconds. After that, we're going to be applying a layer of glue on top of it. On my case, I'm going to be using the Apres Extend Gel. I've actually tried a lot of nail glue already, and I feel like they just perform the same. I just feel like this one from Apres in particular just doesn't soak as well as the other ones for whatever reasons, but yeah. Oh, and by the way, don't use super glue because I don't want y'all to be that girl from TikTok that's like, my hair, it don't move. But yeah, don't use super glue. Then just curing that as well for 60 seconds. Now we're going to be sticking in the Gel X tips. First, you're going to apply like a thin strip of glue, and then you're going to apply a bigger blob at the end. Now, I actually don't like putting my Gel X tips near my cuticles because if I did, it's going to lift faster. So what I do is I leave a millimeter of space and then I drag it up until the glue reaches the top and I flash cure it. And there we have it, folks. Okay, let's do that one more time. Let's apply a thin strip of glue on the backside of the tip and then apply a blobbity blob of glue and place it, but not near the cuticles. Definitely not near the cuticles. And then let's flash cure it. Period. You're getting it. You're kind of getting it, and it's sickening. So even though we cured this already under this lamp right here, we do still have to cure it on a bigger lamp because this only flash cures and it doesn't fully cure the nail. So I'm just gonna be putting it in here for 60 seconds. Okay, so my camera keeps shutting down for whatever reasons, but we have finished applying all the Gel X. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be cutting them a bit because I think they're a bit too long, and I'm just gonna start shaping them. So for filing, I'm gonna be using the 80 by 80 file because girl, who has time? I still want them to be stilettos, so I'm just gonna be sharpening up the edge. Like that. Period. Exactly. Exactly. I'm also going to be using this buffing block to remove the roughness that might have occurred when we filed earlier. So after filing, I'm going to be sealing my cuticles. I'm going to be using this bit right here. I'm going to be linking everything on the description down below, guys. They are affiliate links, but you are feeding a baddie as well, so it's a win-win if you ask me. And make sure that when you're doing this, don't dig in, just tap on it lightly, you know, because this will also cause ring of fire. Next step is we're gonna be creating some texture on the tip so gel would adhere to it better. I know this is like too much step, like Zen, get over it, but this really does help. You don't have to put the mandrel bit on a very high RPM. It could just be very slow. It really doesn't matter. You can also use a file for this one, but I prefer using this because it's faster. Now that we made texture on our nails, we're just going to be further sealing the cuticles by applying acetone to it. This hack has truly been life-changing for me when it comes to longevity on my nails. What's happening is that when you're applying acetone, it actually melts the soft gel tips to your nails and make them look as natural as possible. When I first started doing this, I was like, oh, where have you been? Where have you been? The acetone literally took that to the next level. Period. I have no idea what's happening, but my camera keeps shutting down. But after we sealed our cuticles, we're gonna be applying builder gel. I'm gonna be using the Orly Gel FX Builder in a bottle for this one. And I'm just gonna be applying a thin layer of this all over the nail. Babes, I don't care what step you're on. If you get gel on your skin, remove it immediately with acetone. Why I'm applying a builder gel on top of the Gel X nail is because this specific builder gel is actually strong, so it actually prevents it from bending over. So for that fact, you can actually use any other hard gel and not really use this brand in specific. I just like using this, okay? Okay, this is looking sparkly and perfect. We're just gonna be curing it for 60 seconds. Okay, so after doing the builder gel, we're gonna be proceeding with the nail art. I have my reference photo right here. I'm gonna be focusing on the lower part because I'm planning to do the upper part on my right hand. Starting with our base, I'm gonna be using the OPI Bare My Soul, and I'm just gonna be applying it on all 5 of my fingers. I like this base color so much. I feel like this is my favorite, and I like putting thin layers first all across my nails. we're just curing the first layer, and after that we're gonna be applying a second coat. I've actually noticed that if you apply thinner layers of OPI Bare My Soul, that it actually looks way cleaner in general. Okay, so now we're curing the second layer, and after that, we're actually going to be applying a third coat, but only on selected fingers. I'm actually going to be applying a third coat on my thumb, my middle finger, and also my pinkity dink. And that's it. Okay, so we're just gonna be curing everything for 60 seconds, and I am gonna be using this painting gel that I found on Shein. And yes, I found it on Shein, and I'm gonna be using this teal shade right here and stamp it to create like an ombre-ish effect on my finger. I'm gonna be using it on my pointer finger and on my ring finger, and I'm gonna be applying it on layers. I actually suggest that you guys use this rather than using one of those airbrush machines, because those particles ain't shit, girl. I want y'all to be pretty and not be sick. Beauty is pain, but beauty is not sickness, okay? So use this. I actually like putting this on layers and then curing it and applying more. Okay, so now we're going to be applying pearl throughout our 5 fingers, and it's important to use a no wipe top coat for this one so that the pearls would actually adhere better. And again, you don't have to use any other specific brands, just make sure that it's a non-wipe top coat, because if you use a wipe top coat, it's gonna be messy. Girl, it's gonna be messy, trust me. And we don't want messy. No. We don't want messy at all. Okay, so now we're going to be curing everything for 60 seconds, and the pearl that I'm going to be using is by Couture, but I'm going to make sure that I'm going to find a dupe on Amazon so y'all can use it. What I'm doing right here is that I'm going to use the eyeshadow brush that Yo Mama bought from Party City with that eyeshadow that she uses on a daily basis, and I'm going to be swiping the pearl with it on my nails, just like that. You know, like just swipe it, girl. Swipe it, swiper, no swiping. Okay, this is actually super important, but for the thumb, I'm going to be using a sticky top coat because I'm going to be applying some embossing of water droplets for this finger in specific. So I want it to stick. I'm just going to be curing that for 60 seconds. And I am going to use the Orly Builder Gel that we've used earlier to apply the water droplets on top of it. I am going to be flash curing it every 2 to 3 droplets that I make, just to make sure that it doesn't go flat. I still want it to be round and perky. And then adding more. The technique for this step is to actually apply random sizes and random places for it to be more realistic. Moving along, I'm going to be using a matte top coat for my middle finger and also my pinky finger, because we're going to be doing an isolated chrome design for both of these fingers. Curing that in for 60 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to be using a non-wipe chrome powder gel in black because I feel like gold pops out more when you use black. What I'm doing is I'm actually applying or putting on these swiggly, shaky lines on my middle finger. And guys, finally, the messier the better for this look, okay? And you can actually customize this look to whichever direction you want. I'm just applying 2 lines on the bottom and 2 lines on the top. And once you feel comfortable with the design, we're just going to be curing it for 30 seconds, okay? Only 30 seconds. Don't go overboard. I'm also going to be linking a gold chrome powder on the description down below because the one that I'm using is by a local brand here in the Philippines. And what you're seeing me do is I'm also rubbing it the same way as I was doing the pearls earlier. For top coat, I would actually suggest a thicker top coat that would actually encapsulate the gold chrome better, because if you use a thin one, it would just rub off and just scratch and it would look so ugly and not pretty, and it's not cute. It's not demure. It's not cutesy. And now we're finally going to be curing it for 60 seconds to fully lock in everything. For the pinky finger, I want the isolated chrome design to look like as if it was a French tip. So that's what you're seeing me do right here. I'm going to be using a very squiggly, just dirty, messy design for this one specifically. Oh, and the very reason why I asked you guys to actually just cure this for 30 seconds is that the chrome would actually stick better if it's not over cured. So under curing it would actually make the chrome stick better. You heard it from me, folks. Thank me in the comments, please. Okay, so for the remaining pointer finger and also the ring finger, I'm going to be using the sticky top coat from Orly because I'm also going to be putting an embossed design on these two fingers, and I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds. For the embossing, I'm actually going to be using this Your Sugar Hard Gel, and I'm going to be using a pointed brush like this to create the embossing. Now, similar to how I did the droplets, I'm actually going to be flash curing every 2 to 4 lines that I make, just to make sure that the lines don't go flat and it stays perky and cute and flush like this booty. I am just going to be doing the same thing on my ring finger, but the direction of the little lines are just going in a different direction. You know, it's fine. It's just like the lines are just people, you know? Sometimes we just go in different directions and it's okay. And similar to how I did the pointer finger and also the droplets, I'm going to be flash curing it 3 to 4 lines so that they don't go flat. Next step is we're going to be applying pearls. I'm so excited. Let's talk to Barbie. Sorry, that was my intrusive thoughts. I have ADHD. By the way, I'm just going to be applying these pearls using this glue that I can't remember what it's called, but I'm going to be putting it on my description down below. And yeah, we're just going to be curing everything for 60 seconds and we're done. Okay guys, so we're finally through with this hand that kind of killed me, to be honest. This took me so long. But yeah, it looks so cool though. I really like this one specifically. It looks so watery. And then the shells and the pearls and the gold is perfection. I'm gonna do my other hand. I'm not gonna do it on camera because it's insane, but I'm gonna be right back. Hey guys, so I've finally done my other hand, and as you can see right here, I did switch up the placement. So instead of the French tip gold being on my pinky, it's now on my pointer finger. And I just switched everything around, but for this one, I kind of did a different style. It's like swerving from the side, and I added a few pearls here as well, just to kind of like brighten up the whole look together, you know? I think my favorite one is definitely this water droplet one. It's so cool. But now we're gonna be doing cuticle care because our nails have been through a lot. And of course, if you're new here, hi, what's up? I'm Zen and I use Cusio Natural. This has been my favorite since forever now. I'm just gonna use this to hydrate my cuticles. And of course, it's not going to be a Zenrik nail video if we're not using L'Occitane hand cream. This is my favorite hand cream. Not that I tried a lot. Lol. And that is it, folks. That is our nails. I feel like I say this every single time I make a nail video, but this is by far my most favorite one. Out of all the sets that I've made so far, I feel like this is the first ever nail set that I did that it's really fun and funky. And it also matches the vibe of Cancer season, so that's why I like about it. Okay, so that's our nails, guys. I know I say this all the time, and I probably said it in the video already, that these are my favorite set that I've done so far. I've actually decided to do these nails. Please tag me on Instagram. Oh my goodness, I'd like to see them. My Instagram handle is down below in my description box. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions, any requests, or any suggestions, do comment down below as well. I love talking to you guys, and I have seen a lot of growth recently with my channel. I'm so happy. Thank you, and I love you all. But yeah, that's it for the video. Happy Cancer season. I love you all.